I've got to ask a question. What exactly is going on at Bethesda? What are they doing? Like, are they even making games anymore? Are they still reeling from the flop that was Starfield? Like, what is going on out there? Because the Elder Scrolls 6 release is still a long way off. Todd Howard, the mouthpiece for Bethesda, was out there and he gave a pretty wide-ranging interview, and none of the information that he delivered is actually a positive for Bethesda fans. Okay, so yeah, if you're still hoping for a release of the Elder Scrolls 6 anytime soon, you may want to sit down for this one. According to Bethesda's, Todd Howard, the latest game in the franchise is still a long ways off. In a recent interview with GQ to talk about Fallout 4's 10th anniversary, to which they released a new edition of Fallout 4, that wildly popular installment into another beloved franchise that also has some pretty unfortunate information behind it. But thank God for Fallout 76, because at least Fallout 4 isn't the most loathed mainline Fallout game. But yes, he was also talking about other Bethesda happenings. Howard admitted that the game isn't close to being ready for players. I'm preaching patience. I don't want fans to feel anxious. Howard said that raising money for a Make-A-Wish that would see a character made in the Elder Scrolls 6, and that they had 3-hour playtests of the game. He wanted to make it clear, though, that that wasn't a signal that anything was close, and that if he had his way, the announcement strategy would have been different. Because it was first debuted in 2018, and we have had no updates on it at all whatsoever. Like, what the hell is going on? I like to just announce stuff and release it. Howard said, my perfect vision is when, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, is that it's just going to be a while, and then one day the game will just appear. So yeah, man, this was obviously a big optics fail. One of my favorite games, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Tetsuya Nomura came forward and said, I don't know why they debuted the game so soon, because we had no idea what the hell was going on. We didn't know what we were working on, and hell, if you even know anything about the development cycle of that, you had you had CyberConnect working on the original game, and then they brought it in-house after scrapping all of their work. So yeah, it was in limbo. It was in production hell for quite a long time. But that was only, from its announcement to its release, 7 years, which is only 7 years, but still, that's a lot of fucking uncertainty. But here we are with Elder Scrolls 6, and it's still a long ways off, and we don't know anything about this bitch. And also from that interview, Bethesda's latest update is awful news for Fallout fans. In a recent interview, Bethesda Game Studios Todd Howard revealed that The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long ways off, despite being revealed almost a decade ago. Dire news for fans of The Elder Scrolls who, hadn't received a new unnumbered release since 2011's, which this past week just celebrated its 14th anniversary. Remember, Skyrim released November 11th, 2011. However, in a twist that might displease post-apocalyptic fans, the knock-on impact of the news is that Fallout 5 may be even further away than anticipated. The studio's production line will see Elder Scrolls 6 on a market before Fallout 5 even enters meaningful development, which could be a big issue for fans of the decades-old series. And as it sits right now, pumping out a new Fallout game would probably be a really good business, because at least right now, there's enough people hoodwinked that Amazon Prime Fallout series is actually pretty good. And even after the first season wrapped up, there was a big boost in Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 players. So instead of capitalizing on that, what are they kicking Brock's over there in Washington? But yes, in the recent interview with GQ around the 10th anniversary of Fallout 4 celebrated by the release of the anniversary edition, Todd Howard touched on the increasingly long development window for Elder Scrolls 6, preaching patience and blah, blah, blah. But yes, this presents a tricky issue for Fallout fans. While 76 is here and still receives massive updates, it's so funny, right? Because that is still getting updated. I don't hear anything good about it. I haven't really heard that it's improved all that much. It's just still the mess from 5, 10, 7... God, how long has that been out? It's just about to celebrate another fucking anniversary too, but yeah. Anyways, a numbered Fallout release. Yes, Fallout 5 is likely several years away from being released, if it ever surfaces at all. We know that the team is working on more Fallout, but that doesn't necessarily mean Fallout 5. It most likely means, Fallout 3 Remastered or a New Vegas project. Yeah, one of those two things could be happening, and if it's a New Vegas project, well, I think Obsidian is probably going to be looking for something to do in the near future. But anyways, it could have been known for several years that Bethesda Game Studios, a running order, would have them from Starfield to Elder Scrolls 6 to Fallout 5. Given that we don't have a release year for Elder Scrolls 6, it could be a while before it hits the market, and that means for as long as it takes to get out the door, Fallout 5 will take even presumably longer. But yes, going back to what is happening in the Wider Fallout franchise? Well, okay, just going back to this GQ interview, Howard was talking about what plans there are for the franchise moving forward. Okay, Howard claimed that Bethesda Game Studios has hundreds of people on Fallout right now, with 76 and some other things we're doing. One of the other things Howard is referring to, VGC understands, is a remaster of Fallout 3 similar to this year's Elder Scrolls Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered. Cool, man. That's what Bethesda's doing at this point in time. I mean, is it really that much of a stretch given how many different editions and versions, how many different platforms can you play Skyrim on? Why is it when you look around the rest of the gaming industry, okay, all you see is the same kind of slop remakes and slop sequels. Well, prequels too, I would imagine. And even since, when Elder Scrolls 6 was first announced with that stupid title card at E3 2018, Jesus. How many other fantasy action-adventure franchises have come and gone during that time? But yes, there's still people holding out the Bethesda. Since the release of Skyrim, where there was a lot of people that were already going, Bethesda's formula, it still works for Skyrim, but there are cracks that are forming. And then what comes out after that? Fallout 4. And Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, and then of course all culminating with Starfield. Maybe this is a situation where we can't really draw direct parallels to anything else going on in the AAA gaming industry. Maybe we'll have to branch out our references here. Maybe we got to go and take a look at George R.R. Martin over there with his inability to complete a story. Maybe Bethesda is scared shitless knowing that they can't do any better than Starfield. Selling their games as, kind of imperfect and janky, but you know what? Hey, there's a lot of stuff in here, so you're going to have a lot of time to sink into it. Maybe they just don't know what to do. Maybe they have game developers block, like George has writer's block that he doesn't want to admit to. And so just like Germs and saying that there's 2 more books left in the series, Todd Howard and Bethesda coming out and saying that, guys, don't worry, Elder Scrolls 6, it's definitely coming. Before the eventual heat death of the universe, you ended up painting yourself into a corner. Promising something that a lot of people are looking forward to, and yet lacking the talent to complete it. I don't know, man, but if Todd said you shouldn't expect anything about the game anytime soon, we're probably not going to get any updates. We're probably not going to see anything that they're working on until they're real close to releasing it. And so the wait will continue, and the criticism of the once great Bethesda Studios is going to continue to mount time and time again. Oh well, so with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.